Help! Help! Help!
I can't help you, darling. I'm trying my best. I can't do anything.
Hey guys, blessing here, and how are you doing? You guys just heard that sentence or the statement from the dad. He said, I can do anything. I'm trying my best, but I can't help you. That's the worst position any parent could find themselves. A child looking straight into your eyes, telling you help, and you're telling your child straight on, I can't help you, darling. There is nothing I can do for you. Nothing more heart-shattering than this. I'm going to play it one more time.
Help! Help!
I can't help you, darling. I'm trying my best. I can't do anything.
Come back. So you guys just saw the process of removing two kids. Well, you just saw one child, but eventually two kids were removed from their home. This happened in Australia. And in this video tonight, we're going to highlight and outline some of the reasons why children are being removed from their homes in the Western world. We know that it happens in third world countries. It happens, for example, in Africa, but it's not as predominant as it is here abroad, well, outside of the third world countries. But today I'm going to more or less give us some of the main reasons why a child or children could be removed from their homes. And it looks like migrants who live, Africans in diaspora, or people, foreigners in general, who move to, first world countries, don't know some of these things, don't know that this could be their fate. They could find themselves in this position whereby their kids would be removed from them because they are taking things for granted, or because they are raising their kids in the way that they were raised and they don't see anything wrong with it, but the system sees everything wrong with it. So today we are going to try to educate us. What are the dangers? What are the things you could do that could potentially make the system remove the kids from you? I'm going to play another clip from that.
My God, do we have a brother?
Just so you know, so we're also wearing body worn videos.
Yep, good.
Okay, so
Yep.
it's being recorded as well.
Good.
You can't go back inside.
But mine will be unedited for, future court
We
cases.
don't edit ours at all. It's all raw footage.
You should give this to the judge and see how much it's affecting
That's why we're
her
recording, okay, sweetheart?
We can't do this.
The younger child is unconsolable. You guys can just see how perplexed the officer in charge was. She was just standing there looking, wishing that she could change the decision, that she could just tell that child to go back home, go into the house. But her hands are tied. There is nothing she can do for this family. Her job there and then is to remove that child, and that's what she's going to do, even if her spirit, her soul, every mother instinct in her is saying this child belongs in this home. And we're also going to try to ask that question of, should the system go this far? When a child says, I don't want to leave my home, I don't want to go away from my parents, shouldn't they be able to overturn their decision to remove the children? When it becomes so damaging, you guys are going to hear what the older child is going to say. So where is the break-even point? What is more important? Because here in the West, the safeguarding and the welfare of young people under the age of 18 is paramount. Like, the child becomes like, it belongs to the government, it belongs to the system. You no longer have the power over the children that you bore. You just become, you come into such a powerless, like you're just there. They're taking your child right away from you, and there's nothing you can do about that. Is it right? Is that a correct way to rule? Is that really a good, I don't know, but I think it's really open for discussion. Where is the point you say, okay, we might have assessed this family situation and we might have concluded that these children are better off out of here, but at this point we would have to reassess, we would have to review again. At what point can that ever happen? I have never seen it happen. Once the decision is made, no matter how hard a child cries, no matter how emotional, no matter how potentially damaging it could be for a child psychologically, the decision is made, the child is leaving. And that is heartbreaking, to say the least.
You don't have to. That's not the boss of the world, and the judge isn't the boss of the world either. Yeah, you're the police. You're the police. You need to. Why? It's our law, and we didn't even get a say. We didn't even get a say. And any offense, idiotic stuff that's going on in our life, I'm gonna die at 11, and we're gonna kill ourselves. Please, I don't want to go. I will kill myself if I'm there. I should just kill myself right here.
Tough. The older kid is trying to, still be strong for the younger one who is just unconsolable. And you guys heard the girl say, I'm going to end it. I'm going to kill myself. The judge is not the boss of the world. I don't want to go. Those are strong words for any decision, for me, in my opinion, for any decision to be overturned. When the child says, I do not want to go, I'm going to kill myself. So at what point, like they are doing this for the well-being or for the welfare of the child, but are they also considering the psychological welfare when a child makes such a statement? She says, I'm going to die at the age of 11. That is heavy. So I'm just going to talk briefly about, okay, how this process comes into play. Now, when an issue of welfare or safeguarding of a child has been reported to the authorities, they look at the case, they look at all the reports, they look at all the evidences submitted, if any, and when they deem that the child is at risk of harm. Or look, it's not only when a child is at risk, because that's where our minds go. When, okay, a child has to be removed, they're thinking, okay, why? Because of abuse. A lot of people are thinking the child is in danger. But sometimes the parents could also offer for the system to remove the children if the children are beyond parental control. If the parents feel like, oh my God, I am overwhelmed, I cannot control this child, I cannot do this on my own, we need help, you guys come remove. That is also a possibility. So when all of this, for whichever reason, when they feel like, okay, this is the case, maybe danger, or maybe the parents are giving their own consent, then the system will start foster care proceedings. So they are going to start looking into, okay, where can we put the child? What are the needs of the child? Can the foster family provide or fill in the gap? What are the provisions or the incentives that will be put into place when the child comes in? They'll put a plan together, to help, the child's condition or to improve that child before the child can be taken back, if at all the child will be taken back to their family home. But one thing that is for sure, one thing that I have, I've read a bit on this, one thing that I've seen come back again and again is that removing a child from their family home is always the last resort. Okay, so it's not like whenever you just report to the social services, the first thing they are doing is going to remove the children or the child. No, that's not like the first best solution they come up with. They would have had series of conversations, of deliberations with the family. They would have looked at other possibilities, other alternatives, what can be done, what else cannot be done. And when everything they have put together, they have thought out, fails, when it doesn't really give results that they anticipated from the onset, then finally, like the final solution would then be to remove the child or the children. So this might look pretty emotional to watch, but you should be aware that before they got here, they would have gone through series and series and series of proceedings, of conversations, discussions, of looking at, okay, do the children need to go to a psychologist, to a therapist? Maybe you need to take the kids more out, more often. They would have looked at several. I mean, this didn't happen in a matter of weeks. This must have been going on for months, if not years, for them to finally come to this. And this is the part that we see. Of course, we don't see everything that they had done before they got here. And this part is actually the most difficult for the viewers, for the children, and for the parents. I'm going to play 2 more clips and we can call it a day, but I would really like to highlight like 5 or 6 main reasons, or let me just say the most common reasons. There could be several other reasons why children could be removed, but like the most common that everyone is a bit conversant with, I am going to mention them for us to be alert. We parents don't just do things anyhow. People are watching, neighbors are watching, viewers on social media are watching. If you do videos with your kids, teachers are watching, their friends are watching and listening, and kids talk with their friends. Their friends only need to go home and tell their own parents that, oh, my friend said this. Their parents will take it up. Before you know it, it's already too late to cry. Let me play one or 2 more clips, and then we'll get into the most common reasons why children are removed.
Busy bee.
We tried everything.
Can I have a cuddle?
Get on the bloody phone, you're on dead and get on the legal aid.
Can I have a cuddle, busy bee?
This man said, right away.
I don't want to go, please. I'm getting the medication. What if we never see Mom again? What if it's so like that? No, we will.
That if Mum wants to, she will get to see him again.
I'm going to fight for
So
you,
Mum,
okay?
you will say Mum is going to be.
Wow. And at the beginning of the clip, you guys could hear the mom say, we did everything. So it's not like they are giving consent for this. Like they would have had it differently. She said, we did everything, but unfortunately, well, she didn't say unfortunately, but meaning of that is unfortunately it didn't work out. Sad situation. Now, one of the most common reasons is neglect. I know that we've heard that word so much with everything happening on social media. Neglect. Oh my God, this woman is neglecting the child, or just neglect in general. And what is neglect? Generally, neglect is the persistent failure to meet your child's basic needs. Take note of the word persistent. So it's not like, okay, you just made a mistake. You just lost focus for a second. It just happened. No, we're talking it happens over and over and over again, and people are noticing and people are saying, okay, there is neglect. So you're failing to meet the child's not only the basic physical needs, but also the psychological needs as well. As, for example, look at lack of food. your child cannot go into the kitchen and prepare food for themselves. You, as their parents, you are you are responsible for them. I just, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, a human being should be able to take care of their own self. But now you have, say, you have 4 kids, um, 4 very young kids. So you are taking care of like 5 people in one. Hold on. So you are doing the job of 5 people in one. So it's a very, very big task. Parenting is not easy. Being a mom, being a dad, those are the most difficult occupations that anyone could have. That's why I always say, if you're not ready for it, don't just say, oh my God, I feel like having a cute little baby. No, babies aren't always cute. They might look cute, but the reality of taking care of them, catering to their needs, is something totally different. And some people are in love. They're like, oh my God, I just want to have a little baby for you. No, a baby is not a gift like that, in that sense. It's not something you just do out of, oh my God, out of feeling butterflies in your stomach. No, you really have to consider every aspect of being responsible for a life, because a child is not just a cute little baby. A child is a human being, a life that you'd have to nurture from cradle to adulthood. And these laws that govern the welfare and safeguarding of kids goes up until they are 18. So it's a long, long time for you to know that, okay, I have to be at the office till these children are 18. And when I say office, I mean domestic office, if you know what that means. So you're providing, well, let's just say lack of food. You're not providing food adequately, water, shelter, medical provisions or medical aid. The kids might be sick and you're not able to provide good health care for them. You're not there for them emotionally. You're not meeting their educational needs. These are different reasons that these are different examples that fall under neglect. So these are coupled with either you're just a negligent mom or dad, or financial reasons. You just don't have what it takes to, provide for your children. Another common reason is abandonment. So, for example, I've heard something about a young mom in the UK, in I think London. She abandoned her toddler and went clubbing for her birthday. She went like back to back, 2, 3 days. She left the baby in the house. I think the baby was around 2 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Left the baby for like 2 to 3, like party to party. That's what she did. It was her birthday weekend, and the baby didn't make it. She got back home, and the baby, it was too late. Abandonment. So you leave the child to fend for themselves for excessive durations, for a long, long, long period of time. If that happens and the baby is lucky enough to survive it, that child could potentially be removed from you. Another common reason is abuse. And of course, when we say abuse, a lot of people think physical, but domestic abuse comes in different forms. It could come in the form of violence, in the form of bullying. When you have this bullying behavior towards your own child, so many parents do it without even realizing or recognizing it. Your child does something. The first thing you want to do is tease them. To you, it's tease. Oh, I'm just teasing. I'm just playing with you. But the child is taking it in as, oh, she's mocking me. She's criticizing me. Or it could be the mom, it could be the dad doing this. Or, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm getting all this negative critique, always pointing out what I'm not doing right. But you're just laughing. You're just teasing. You're just making a jest. But you're bullying, actually, the child. The child is feeling it differently. Rather, look for positive things that the child is doing well. Highlight the things that the child is doing well more than the things that you feel like, oh my God, ridiculous, let me laugh at this. When the child complains about this, for example, it could really, when it starts to affect the child psychologically, it could be a potential reason for that child to be removed, because it's not safe it's not a safe environment for the child to grow up in. Abuse could also come in the form of emotional abuse, which we all know. It could also come in the form of sexual abuse, or just a combination of any of these different ones. So we said domestic abuse, so violence, bullying, emotional, sexual, or a combination. It could also be that the child itself is witnessing abuse in the family. So when I say abuse, sometimes it's not necessarily that, it doesn't necessarily mean that the child himself or herself is experiencing abuse, but the child is witnessing it. So for example, a husband and a wife, you guys are fighting every day, and the child is seeing it, waking up to it every day. That child could be removed from that environment. You're not hitting the child, you're not abusing the child, you're not verbally abusing the child, you're not doing anything to the child, but for the child to just be in that environment that is not conducive for them to grow in a healthy, or in a healthy manner, that child could be removed from there. Another reason a child could be removed is loss of parents. Hold on. Okay, so you guys, my kids are still awake. Loss of parents. God forbid, if a child loses their parents, suddenly, unplanned, well, demise or death is usually unplanned. Well, in most cases, unplanned. If it happens that a child is still a minor, it could result in that child being taken into care until they can make alternative arrangements for the child, maybe to go into a relative's home. But immediately that thing happens, social services will remove the child and put the child in a safe place. Another possible reason, another common reason for a child being removed is incarceration. For example, the parents going to prison and the child is just there. So when I say child, I'm talking an individual between the ages of 0 to 18. That's a child, a minor. Well, in most countries, in some countries it could be 16, in other countries it could be 21, but generally 18. Yeah. Another common reason is parental consent, which I talked about earlier on in this video. When a parent herself or himself allows CPS to take their child away from home, to provide for them, for example, to provide them mental health services, to just, if they feel like, oh my God, this is beyond my control, I cannot help this child, I need help, they could actually give consent to the authorities to remove the child. Let me see if I still need to play the last one.
Now she knows what happened. She doesn't even know her mom.
You want to grab it on the other side?
Okay, I missed that part, but I think it was when they were saying their farewells, which was also very, very, emotional. The mom just hugging her babies and saying goodbye, like terrible, terrible, terrible. It's just a situation or a case of helplessness. You cannot overpower the authorities. You cannot do anything. You gave birth to those children. Those children are yours, but they are snatching them away from you, and you're just powerless. There's nothing you can do about it. So it's sad. So I do hope that, hello. I do hope that with these points or these common reasons that I mentioned, that some of us can start to maybe think about, now everybody can hear your voice.
Everybody.
So maybe we can all, mommy is not going to talk when you're talking and giggling. You know that.
No.
So I hope that we can, start to stand still by our actions and the things we do, how we treat our kids, how we provide for them, how we show them love and affection, just in everything. Let us think twice so that, God forbid, this is not our portion. I mean, most parents try their best for their children, but sometimes your best is not good enough, or sometimes your best is not coming the way the system thinks it should come. So it's like everybody is under, well, more or less the control of the system. They tell you your limit, like beyond here, you don't go, when it comes to children. So yes, the children were removed. It's sad. I'm going to read comments. And then we can call it a day. Oh my God, I'm so happy. This is a short video. Yeah. I love short videos, you guys. I'm terrified of doing. Yes, baby. Your mates are in bed. Their daddy just brought them here. They are free tomorrow, so. Baba, are you going to bed? No. So, let me read comments. What was I even saying before this small man? Yeah, very heartbreaking. Hello, Chris Moses. Hello, Lizzie. Gloria. Hi, Faye, my latest subscriber. How are you? Good evening. Hope you're fine. Hi, Deborah. Lydia. Yes. Yes, baby. You want to talk? Because I'm reading comments. That's why you are laughing. Me? No, say that's why you are laughing. That's why are you laughing? No, that's why you are laughing. That's why are you laughing? No, that's why you are laughing. That's why are you laughing? You tried. Okay, yeah, so I was saying I am terrified about long videos. So I always like to keep my videos at a max of 1 hour. So when I came to the comments and I saw that I was just talking for 25 minutes, I was so happy. Like, yes. So we're gonna leave here in 3 minutes. Ah, nice. Neka says these are even white kids. If it was black kids, they would scream racism. You better do what's right. CPS comes for everybody. That is true. That is quite true. A lot of people play the race cards too often that it gets so, oh my God, it gets so irritating. You cannot be a victim all your life. They start talking racism, they start talking slavery, and I'm like, just shut up already. Just stop being a victim, grow out of it. And of course, we should always stand still by the history and by everything that happened. We cannot erase it. We should acknowledge that it happened. That's good enough. But when you always want to subdue yourself to that place, always wanting to go back and dwell there, you don't want to grow out of it. You don't want to get better from it. You want to still have that slavery mentality because you are feeling like you are still a slave. Grow out of it and show that you have come up. You are equal. You are, you're a human and you deserve that level of equality and equity in general. When you get there, then you will stop blaming everything on race and slavery. So it's really annoying. It's true. Fine, I'm not saying we don't have systemic racism or discrimination or all of that. It exists. But everything is not racism, honestly. So yes, CPM comes for everybody. In fact, let me gist you guys. You guys know that Nancy's friend now, that newfound friend, the one that sells pots for her. They took away her 3 children. You guys know she lived in the Netherlands. Her 3 children were taken away because she could not cater for them. she couldn't meet their needs financially. They were staying in a home without electricity. They were cooking with charcoal. It's not just talk, it's something she confirmed herself. If you cannot provide for your children financially, that means those children deserve better. So they will be removed. The children were removed and dispersed all over the country. They were taken to 3 different families. So it really breaks down families in that manner. But for me, in such a case, when you cannot provide, I mean, your children cannot feed well, yes, the children should be removed. It might be sad and all of that. But before you start giving birth to 3 children, be sure you can afford to take care of them. If you cannot, family planning is there, or just give birth to 1. But African people always have this thing of, oh my God, I must have 3, I must have 4. It doesn't really have to be that way, especially if you cannot, afford it. If you can afford 5, by all means. If you can afford 7, by all means. But if you cannot, keep it at, anyways.
Finish?
No, not yet. You want me to round off? You want me to finish?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Let's finish. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Let me go attend to the babies and put them to bed. Okay, this one is also saying, "Mommy, finish." All right. I'm gonna read the rest of the comments once I end the live stream. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your comments, your contributions, your loves, your likes, and your subscriptions. Thank you to all my new and latest subscribers. I'm gonna leave it here. I remain blessed and enjoy the analyst, and I will catch you all on my next one. Bye. Say bye. Bye, everybody.